6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj for C headlines. Measures will be taken to provide compensation for flood damages without delay. State Minister Kader Mastan says President focuses on advancing development in the northern province. Vouchers for school girls to buy sanitary napkins begins. Health officials emphasize a need for additional measures to combat spread of dengue. Railway strike by the locomotive operators operating engineers union disrupts railway services today. News overseas: Israeli strike on a UN school in Gaza reportedly kills at least 35. In sports, West Indies Sri Lanka women's cricket series begins on the 15th of June. And those are the headlines. Defence State Minister Premita Bandarathenakon says in Parliament that 71 houses have been totally damaged due to the recent inclement weather conditions and 9,177 houses have been partially damaged. The State Minister also said that special consideration will be given to these unauthorized constructions while giving concessions in the future. Measures will be taken to provide compensation for the damages without delay. The State Minister also said that 30 deaths have been reported so far due to these inclement weather conditions. He said that a compensation about 25,000 rupees has been given to the families of those who lost their lives, and it is expected that more compensation will be given in future. He said that the total amount of compensation to be paid is still being calculated, so the amount cannot be estimated as of this date. The State Minister said President Ranil Wickremesinghe had submitted a special cabinet paper in this regard last Monday, and accordingly he had given instructions to obtain additional financial allocations from the Treasury, and accordingly the amount given daily for food in the current cycle has been increased by 33%. State Minister for Rural Economy Kader Mastan announced that President Ranil Wickremesinghe has prioritized the development of war-affected northern province, and the necessary financial allocations have also been provided to the MPs representing the region to ensure the success of these projects. He also mentioned that the economy, which experienced a downturn last season, is now stabilizing and leading to improved living conditions for the people. State Minister for Rural Economy Kader Mastan made these remarks while addressing the press briefing held at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday, focusing on the theme Collective Path to a Stable Country. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Education Ministry will provide vouchers for school girls to buy sanitary napkins based on the allocation of 1 billion rupees. The program of supplying free vouchers for adult schoolgirls to purchase sanitary napkins will be implemented from this month. The inauguration of handing over the gift voucher program, which has been implemented with an investment of 1 billion rupees, took place at President's Girls College in Navala yesterday. Accordingly, the Education Ministry has taken steps to provide free vouchers to purchase sanitary napkins for 6 months, beginning from June. A gift voucher worth 1,200 rupees each will be given to female students. Director of the National Dengue Control Unit, Dr. Siddharth Samaravira, emphasized that dengue disease extends beyond mere health implications, presenting significant economic and social challenges. He underscored that the Ministry of Health alone cannot effectively control the spread of dengue and requires full public support. Dr. Siddharth Samaravira disclosed that within the last 5 months of this year, over 25,000 dengue cases and 9 dengue-related deaths have been reported. Director of the National Dengue Control Unit, Dr. Siddharth Samaravira, a specialist, made this revelation while participating in a special news conference held at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday. He also emphasized that the critical importance of effectively managing the spread of disease, noting that the current flood situation could potentially escalate the dengue outbreak to an epidemic level. The Locomotive Operating Engineers Union of Sri Lanka Railways says they have decided to launch a strike from midnight yesterday. General Secretary of the union, SRTM Senanayake, says that many of his trains starting from Fort Railway Station will not be operated due to the strike. Only the night mail trains that had left Colombo yesterday will come back from the respective railway stations today. The trade union action is being initiated over delays in second-class promotions of locomotive drivers and several other issues, according to the Locomotive Operating Engineers Union. And that's local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
The second reading of the Sri Lanka Electricity Bill was passed in Parliament yesterday with a majority of 44 votes. A total of 103 MPs voted in favour, while 59 voted against. Opposition MPs from Samagijana Balawege, National People's Power and the independent MPs voted against the bill. Members of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, United National Party and members of the Samagijana Balawege, who recently joined the government, voted in favour of the bill.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, all government schools in Alapatha and Ayagama education divisions in the Nivitigala education zone will remain closed today due to the prevailing adverse weather conditions. In a notice issued by the Sabarakamuwa Province Education Secretary, it is further informed that all other schools in other education zones and divisions will conduct academic activities as usual from today.
Coming up, world news.
First, the headlines: Israeli strike on a UN school in Gaza reportedly kills at least 35. Coal lava floods Philippines village after eruption. WHO confirms the first fatal human case of H5N2 bird flu. And those are the headlines of the world news. An Israeli airstrike on a UN school packed with displaced Palestinians in central Gaza has reportedly killed at least 35 people. Local journalists told BBC that a warplane fired 2 missiles at classrooms on the top floor of the school in the Herban refugee camp. Videos showed that the destruction and number of bodies. Israeli military said it had conducted a precise strike on a Hamas compound in the school and killed many of the 20 to 30 fighters it believed were inside. Coal lava floods a Philippines village after eruption. Footage shows rivers of coal lava following an explosive eruption at Mount Canleon on Monday. The eruption sent a fume of ash kilometers into a sky and caused dozens of flights to be cancelled and hundreds of people to be evacuated. Authorities said further eruptions were possible. A person with prior health complications who had contracted bird flu died in Mexico in April, and the source of exposure to the virus was unknown, the World Health Organization said on Wednesday. WHO said that the current risk of bird flu virus to the general population is low. The 59-year-old resident of the state of Mexico had been hospitalized in Mexico City and died on April 24th after developing a fever. And that's world news. Development news. United Petroleum Lanka Limited recently signed an agreement with the Board of Investment for an investment of $27.5 million to import, storage and sale of petroleum. As part of this endeavour, United Petroleum will have a total of 200 fuel stations island-wide to operate for 20 years to import, store, distribute and sell petroleum products in Sri Lanka. The company has allocated the control of 150 privately owned fuel outlets currently operated by the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation. And that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
West Indies national women's cricket team started their training at NCC Indoor Stadium yesterday to focus on 3 ODIs and 3 T20s against Sri Lanka women's team. Earlier, 3 ODIs were scheduled to play at Galle, but yesterday Sri Lanka Cricket announced ODI matches will be played in Hambantota on the same dates, June 15, 18 and 21st, while the T20s will be played on June 24, 26 and 28 at the same venue, Mahinda Rajapaksa Stadium in Hambantota. The 15-player West Indies women's cricket team, led by ICC Player of the Month for April winner Hayley Matthews and Shemaine Campbell, will serve as Matthews' deputy.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීර හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB I Am, a plan for your dream. Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
State Minister of Technology Kanaka Herath announced that the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka has granted preliminary approval for Starlink to provide satellite-based internet services in Sri Lanka. The state minister emphasized that 2-week period has been allocated for a formal public consultation process regarding the approval of the internet service. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Moving on to economic news, the State Minister for Finance, Dr. Ranjit Siamla PTA, says that 44,430 vehicles have been released to the market during the period when import restrictions were imposed. Among them are 38,144 motorcycles and 6,286 cars. The minister points out this information was revealed in a discussion held at the Ministry of Finance with a group of local vehicle manufacturers. Although restrictions have been imposed on the import of vehicles, the assembly and sale of parts is still going on. Representatives of many domestic vehicle manufacturing companies were present at this occasion, and that was economic news.
Weather report.
The Met Department says showers will occur at times in the western, Sabarkama and southern provinces and in Kandy and Nuwara districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the northwestern, northern and north central provinces. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in eastern and Uva provinces in the evening or night. And that was the weather report. To wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. Measures will be taken to provide compensation for flood damages without delay. State Minister Kader Mastan says the President focuses on advancing development in the northern province. Vouchers for schoolgirls to buy sanitary napkins. Health officials emphasize the need for additional measures to combat spread of dengue. Railway strike by the Locomotive Operating Engineers Union disrupts railway services today. News overseas: Israeli strike on UN school in Gaza reportedly kills at least 35. In sports, West Indies-Sri Lanka Women's Cricket Series begins on the 15th of June. With that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.